What are we settling with Tass? The tactician we came up with.
I like the tactician, and I also like, if any of them three on the desk have predicted the correct scoreline, I'll let you try and pick a horse for me for the Grand National tomorrow. Because if you're getting that right, I want in. I want in on a penalty shootout or a 4-2 or a 4-3. So you know where I am, Jimmy. But I think the tactician is a good name for him. The way that he plays FIFA, it's just so... Everything's got a purpose. The drag backs in certain areas, or I like to call them the task backs in certain areas. Just the way that he walks the ball into the back of the net. Everything's just methodical in his play style. And this sort of phase that we're in at the game at the minute, this sort of patch that we're in currently, favours him so well. When it was the sort of finesse shot, the green finesse shot, the timed first-time finesse shot, it didn't suit him. It just didn't suit the way that he plays. Now, from pretty much the Club World Cup, we've seen, in my opinion, the FIFA 17 Tass coming back. And you can see it in his confidence, in his demeanour. He feels like he's back. Maybe not to his best, but certainly to a good enough level to compete for championships.
And this is a 2-0 game as well. Both players currently 2-0. Just looking at some of the results as well, coming into this, it was a round one victory for both of these two. For Tass, it was a penalty shootout against the Swedish player there, ARBN. In round two, it was a game against Marcus Gomes, a 3-2 victory for Tass. On the other side of that, for DaXe, two big wins for him, one over Delhi, and the other one coming over Goal Machine, a 5-2 win there. DaXe, a lot of success in France, but just wants that bit more success on the global stage. Been involved in loads of tournaments, loads of Gfinity tournaments. But just really wants to pick up a trophy and go that extra step.
Yeah, 100%. DaXe, one of the best players in France, no doubt about it. The way that he plays FIFA as well, it's so beautiful to watch. There's a reason that people call him the artist. And he's been coined that nickname. For the simple fact that he doesn't really play as to what you call the meta. He's not going to stick in crosses and scoop crosses to the back post. He plays FIFA the way that he wants to play FIFA.
It's nearly the opening chance of the game for him there. Nearly a kind ball through to R9. Just get hoofed all the way back across again now. It's going to fall to R9 with the first shot of the game. And speaking on the other side of that, Tass, he kind of went through an interesting period this year. At one point, he was like, I don't know if competing's for me anymore. I want to be back at that top level, and I haven't had that experience for a long time.
He simply felt as though he weren't good enough to compete. It's simple as that. After a number of events where he wasn't performing to his standard, he was contemplating if he even wanted to carry on performing and carry on playing at this level. It takes a lot of stress. It takes a lot of mental fortitude to be at the top of the game. And when you know that you've got more in the tank, but you just can't do it on the pitch, that's one of the worst feelings in the world. Tass has come back. He found that level that he was once playing at. You can see he's playing in that 5-3-2 formation, a lot of switches of play. Varane, Vieira's going to pick up the ball. He's probably going to have the most touches on the pitch for him, moving the ball from left to right. He's got Venny behind him as well, Tass.
There's also the story as well, you mentioned it just a few minutes ago, of the two goals he scored, the standout goal in the E-Club World Cup for, obviously, FaZe, who teamed up with Lev Vinken just for that one-off event. Obviously, does play for FaZe. He recently just got himself a new jersey as well. Number 14 on the back for a reason. Massive Thierry Henry fan. I think he tweeted out a little bit earlier, had a penalty shootout, and there's actually Thierry Henry that missed a penalty in there. On the other side of that, DaXe probably got one of the best coaches next to him in the game. Obviously playing for PSG as well. It's not a bad team to play for. Heavily invested into the esports space now across a number of games. Was the E-League Xbox champion for season 1 of their competition over there.
He's got multiple ESWC titles to his name as well.
Currently sitting number 6 on those Global Series rankings, but just really wants to taste a big victory, picking up a trophy. Here he comes now, playing that white strip for PSG. A few scoop turns there, a ball roll as well. Look at the close control, dribbling from the PSG man himself. Back to Vieira, and we say about these two playing perfect FIFA. There's a little example of it.
Really nice bit of play from DaXe, working the ball into the box. On that occasion, Tass's number 1 between the sticks did enough for him. However, it's going to be quite a slow-paced game. I don't think we're going to see that many goals, to be honest. I'd maybe go for a 2-1 or a 3-2 sort of scoreline.
We talked about those goals. You've got to be saying, what, like 40 passes or so, and some of Tass's build-ups? Like...
Oh, yeah, remarkable.
It's crazy. He'll go forward and back about 4 times, and the one time he does come forward and it is successful, then you understand why.
And it's not just him keeping hold of the ball. It's him, everything that he does has a purpose. That's why we call him the tactician. It's the way that he brings players out of position, brings centre-backs, brings full-backs, brings CDMs into areas that are just not comfortable. And then when that space opens up, that's when he capitalises on it. That's when he plays that killer pass. He's got Mbappe playing right wing-back, if you are just joining.
I even want to say before we saw maybe 2 attacking players, especially on the left as well. We did see an attacking player out there before. Obviously, that was an EPL team there, wasn't it?
Sane, Hazard at left wing back. Hazard at left wing back.
Obviously, it was Premier League teams last week, so there's a valid reason why he's chosen to do that.
Bullied off the ball there.
One thing about Tass he loves the time finish. As soon as it hits green, I think we were sitting in the talent room, he had a few green finishes. We just heard him shout green out the back.
Ooh, I thought that went directly in. All the way across the box.
Keeper leaves it and nearly falls into the back of the net. Lucky enough. Does go up for a goal kick now. You can see just a few stats about DaXe there on your right-hand side. 4 goals scored today, only conceded 4 and see 2-0. So whoever wins this game will definitely be into the knockout stages. Yeah, we'll continue to play though.
We're getting flashbacks to when they were using the Jubilani at the World Cup then, where the ball just floated into the area.
See just behind DaXe there, maybe an outline of a figure there on that left-hand side. Alan Bryn, a coach that's been with some of the best FIFA players, the likes of Bruce Granick, took him to 2 FIWC championships. And looking to do exactly the same with DaXe under that PSG banner. Here we go then, DaXe had all the chance, had all the ball so far in this game, a drag back or 2, loves to play amazing football. Could this be the opening goal of the game? And I'll tell you what, you don't normally see that from Mbappe, do you?
Has gone out for a throw in. What on earth is that finish?
You don't often see that from Kylian Mbappe.
I don't know what was stranger, the noise that came out of my mouth or the finish from Mbappe.
Outside the boot, and it actually went out for a throw-in.
He absolutely just screwed it with the outside of the right boot, completely wide of the goal.
This is round 3 of Swiss style as well. So you can just see some of those round 2 results. We'll see Tass a 3-2 win against Marcus Gomes. Tass, you're watching on your screen now. Big win for Megabit there into half-time. Have a look at those stats. It definitely has been all DaXe at the moment regarding chances created.
You're looking at the stats play it perfectly. 98% passing accuracy from DaXe at half-time. He's had 58% of the ball and had 98% passing accuracy. It's unbelievable stats. Tass with 92% passing accuracy at the break. See a slight change there. Hull it out to left centre mid Vieira as his central midfielder.
Why do you think playing 5 at the back is just something you want to risk? Is it just...
Well, I wouldn't say it's a risk. I'd say it's a defensive formation, in all honesty. But given the way that he plays, the switcher play is so prevalent in his game. You're going to see it over and over again. Constantly moving forward with the ball, switcher play. Move forward, switcher play. That is what's bringing players out of position. And when you're playing 5 at the back, you've got Mbappe as your right wing back. It just enables them to get on. A lot of the goals that Tass scores, he gets into an area and then it's that runner over the last man, cut back. Very similar to what Man City do in the sort of play where they get into the final third and then it's looking for cutbacks, looking for the simple pass, simplifying all the time.
Here we go. This is going to be Tass's first chance of the game. What I was relating back to that 5 at the back, it's good in the way that you can get that left and that right full back forward. Look how high Mbappe is at the moment. On the other side of that, look how far out wide as well. It's like on the byline, literally. That left fullback, I guess it does really just stretch that midfield or even the back line. Vieira now. Through to Modric, hilt to hilt for him. Needs to be patient, Tass. Has not registered a shot yet. Could this be the time for that to change? Back to goal for R9. There we go. He's got quite fortunate with the save there, and first shot of the game, first goal of the game for him.
Massive slice of luck for Tass to take the lead there. He's hit the shot with R9. It's one of the shots that I don't think he's expecting to score. He's just looking for something to bounce off the goalkeeper. CR7 quickest to react. In front of the defender, just tips it past him. DaXe has got to be so annoyed to have conceded in that manner.
gonna say, I didn't actually expect the shot originally to come from R9, but he went for it. Clearly there was some sort of power in it for the keeper to parry that away and just parried it onto the legs of Cristiano Ronaldo, who's never going to be missing from there, especially with an open net. Now DaXe. Yes, he's had a lot of chances, he's had a lot of possession, but now he's 1-0 down and he needs to try and make it count. He's had a number of tough games over the last few tournaments. Just runs out of play there as well, not good from him. And quite crowded up there as well, especially where all these players are playing. On that whole line, you've got Megabit, you've got Gold Machine, MS Desari, F2 Tex, Marcus Gomes.
Especially when Megabit and Desari are playing against each other as well. They're literally sat one pod away from each other and they're playing against each other in a 2-0 game. Both of these two players on the top line of stations here in the Gfinity Arena as well. You've got Tass on the right and DaXe on the left.
There's been a pause cued by DaXe as well. Lucky enough for us, we did get to see him in action just a few weeks ago in that LQE. Will he be able to go that extra step further this time round?
Tass keeping all the ball so effectively here. It's in his defensive third, so there is an element of risk if he does lose out on possession. But he's got no rush, he's got the goal. He's forcing the players out of the position. Vieira now comes forward of the ball. This is where you see them overlapping runs from Mbappe, but Hullet just getting his body in the way. I think that has gone for a free kick in the favour of Tass.
Most frustrating thing as well, especially when you win them down, you're up against 5 at the back, which, yes, it can go into a 3-5-2 at times when you're attacking, but when you're defending it, as you said, it's just like 2 banks, isn't it?
Yeah, when you are defending, Marcelo and Mbappe are going to sit into a back 5, a straight back 5. Vieira's then going to drop in with the work rates, the medium high that he's got. He's going to sit as sort of a CDM in that 5-3-2. Modric and Hullet are going to be your 2 centre mids almost. And then you've got Ronaldo and Ronaldo up top as your out ball. Just constantly keep pinging it up to him. You almost play as like a 5-1-2-2, the formation.
Here's 1-0 up. Now Dini to resume play just inside DaXe's half.
It's going to go long again.
Just trying to look who he's controlling as well.
He's not. He's just looking for Cristiano Ronaldo. I don't know if you see him, just on the edge of the D.
He's actually going to find Hullet instead, who still can compete in the air, but Rafael Varane did just about enough. And I think Rafael Varane just made one hell of a run forward. You just saw that number 3 on your screen. Thinking, is he going to stop running? He's back in position now, but what a run it was. Try and get past the last man. Mbappe to Vieira. This is R9 now. Trying to find a way through, still can't find it. Tass will be happy with this. He literally had, what, 1 shot, and he scored from that shot, that 1 chance.
That's all it takes. That's a great run from Modric from centre midfield as well.
He's onside as well, it goes all the way over. I think it was Vieira in the box, I want to say. It's actually very far forward. You can just see him running back now. Maybe expect to see the likes of Thierry Henry introduced as well very shortly. Another pause cued by DaXe. He's clearly not happy with something. You can see the results so far for Tass. 1-2 games. Obviously, as we said, this is a 2-0 game. Whoever wins this over the 2 legs will get themselves into those knockout stages.
Tass's games have been so tight as well. A penalty shootout, 3-3 in the first leg, and in that second leg, I think it was a 3-2 victory.
Oh, this is superb for DaXe as well. Well done. It's been coming for him. He's been knocking on the door throughout this whole game, and 79 minutes in, he finally breaks through. And he breaks through with a goal from R9 as well. You might be able to see it in the replay in a second, but worked it so well in such a tight area. You have to say the goal has definitely been coming.
Now into that bench. Who is going to be introduced to the fray for Tass? It looks like Kevin De Bruyne as a right centre midfielder. We saw him a lot in the E-Premier League. Probably the best attacking player, you'd say.
Oh,
also,
definitely.
Pele at right wing-back. Don't know if he's ever done a job at right wing-back before in his professional career, but in his FIFA career, that's where you're playing. That's where the manager tells you to play. He's just seeing the goal here. He's so composed, isn't he? There's a reason people call him the artist. He's just so cultured in his possession of the ball. It got played into R9. A lot of other players there, they'll do a drag back. They'll rush it onto his right foot straight away. He just takes his time, onto his left foot, finish past the goalkeeper. Just makes it look simple.
As you said, Pele introduced for him at right wing back. You can just see him on the far hand side of your screen.
He looks lost.
He's there. He's in position for now. Let's see how he gets on. You know what I'm like with Brazilians at right back. Normally Dani Alves bombing on forward and never getting back in position. And what Pele can do from there as well. 1-1 the score. As we said, a number of other games underway at this moment in time in front of us. Some of the big ones as well, as you mentioned, Megabit against MS Dasari. That's a massive game there. Hashtag Ryan Herozia. Hashtag Harry against Clutch, an all UK game there. Quite a few UK players. I think there was 10 in total that got themselves to this tournament. 20 nations as well. All here from all over the world. A player from Indonesia. What story that is. Pull it now. Into the last few minutes now. Is he going to build into the last chance of the game for Tass, or is he going to remain to sit off for a 1-all draw? Added time to come, expecting to go forward now and then build into the last attack of the game. Added time of 2 minutes to come.
It's a chance for Vieira.
Vieira now with a fake shot, why not? Mbappe, unfortunately,
just a little bit slow at times. I know that's the way that Tass plays, but I think even he knows. Just got to speed things up a little bit. I'm surprised the referee, there we go, their ball's full time, I should say. In the first leg, half time in the complexion of this series. Currently tied at 1 apiece between the two sides. I'll be very, very interested to see the stats as it stands after this first leg. Two shots on target. Tass turned around the possession in the end, 56%.
No, he kept a lot of the ball, and as we said, 2 shots all game for him. That's the goal again we get to see on the replay from DaXe as well. And then we can see Tass there. 1-1 on the scoreline. What's he thinking after that game? He's kept a lot of the ball, didn't create too many chances. 1-1, game still on.
He's watching the replay right now at Tass. We've got to see his perspective on the action there. DaXe looks pretty content, to be honest. Looks like he's just standard day out for DaXe. You're going to see the highlights of this round 3 fixture.
Here we go. This was some of the opening chances of the game. That would have been an unbelievable finish from DaXe. First 6 minutes in, the ball gets lofted all the way in, and we mentioned that nearly fell into the back of the net. And it was DaXe coming forward again. Combination of skill moves as always from him. This would have been a great goal, but instead was probably one of the worst finishes I've ever seen from Mbappe. Cleared it all the way over. And this was when the breakthrough finally came. I was like, you're going to shoot from there? He thought, no, why not? It wasn't even timed green. I think it was yellow. I think the power in it just fell back to Cristiano Ronaldo's feet.
I'm surprised he's actually onside there as well with that shot, because he looked certainly offside. R9 looking for a little bit of close control on the edge of the box. Didn't amount to anything, but this was the chance that DaXe was looking for. Marcelo, look for R9. That's the man you want to be watching.
He did exactly that. Fired it into the back of the net. Put us all square with 79 minutes on the clock. And that is how the game concluded in the end there for DaXe. Obviously, made a lot of chances, but the scoreline did not show similar to that. A lot of possession for him. Has to go back to the drawing board and has to try and at least score a few more goals next game. But the goals he nearly scored would have probably gone down as some of the goals of the day. Yeah,
if you are looking for goals of the tournament, keep your eyes on this second leg. Both of these two players have a rich history of scoring great goals. Tass too recently. We saw at the Club World Cup and the E-Premier League finals. Well-worked passing moves of 30, 40 passes. And then just a calm finish past the goalkeeper. You can see that FaZe clan jersey.
On the other side of that as well, you've got a huge football club, a huge esports organisation.
Arguably 2 of the biggest in the scene right now. FaZe clan, I think over 6 million subscribers on YouTube. PSG, one of the biggest clubs in the world, one of the biggest football clubs that is.
Battling up against each other in competitive FIFA here at the Gfinity Arena for round 3 of Swiss style format. Yes, they're all square, but in 90 minutes' time, or if we need an extra 30 on top of that with extra time, we will find out who will be going 3-0 and definitely through to the knockout stages.
Yeah, just have a look at some of the first leg results while we are in this sort of interval in between the two games in this intermission. Megabit and MS Dasari, that finished 3-all by the looks of it as it stands after that first leg. Battlecat and Rafsu, Battlecat with a 3-1 lead as it currently stands. PSG, DaXe and FaZe, Tass, as you saw, 1 apiece. And then one more for you. F2 Techs 3, Rebel Stokes 6. As it stands, latest scoreline from that game.
The other side of that, Marcus going 6-1 up against Black Arrow there. I think you mentioned hashtag Ryan, 5-2 up against Erosia. So both Vitality players currently losing in their games. We'll still keep you up to date with all those scorelines. Back to this game now, or game in focus. 5 at the back for Tass. However, will it be the right move for him into this second leg now of a huge chance to go 3-0 and to send himself through to the knockouts? Or will it be the artist as he's known as now, PSG DaXe?
This is the game to take the pressure off. If you win this game, you go 3-0. You can go into your last 2 games with just so much off your shoulders. You can play with a set of freedom where you're not having to get results. When you go 2-0, then you go 2-1, then you go to 2-2. Something we often see Stefano Pina do. He'll go 2-0, and then he'll get really tough matches. He'll play against the likes of Nicholas, Mo Alba. You're then 2-2 in an elimination matchup.
And that's not where you need to be. In a round 5 Swiss-style game where the pressure is really on, and I'm sure throughout today we're going to see those kind of stories unfold. The players that have an unbelievable Swiss-style format, the players who don't have a good tournament at all. Maybe the pressure got too much to them as they could go 0-3.
Then you'll see the miracle men.
Yeah.
0-2, 1-2, 2-2, and then going through. Is anyone going to be telling that story by the end of today?
Well, it's a Ramos. This is DaXe now. Known for his pretty football. Here's R9. Nothing fancy really about that. Bit of space. Get out your feet. And his laces straight through it to fire PSG DaXe in front for the first time in this leg.
Get your head over the ball and just put your laces through it. R9 out of his feet. He had a lot of room there in the defensive area.
I think he just did enough just to fake which way he was going to give a little bit of space of Sergio Ramos. And R9, he's in all these teams for a reason. Prime icon moment, 97 overall.
So good into R9. In the final third, he's just so clinical. It's just so good, in all honesty. That 97 Ronaldo Nazario.
Mbappe now for Cristiano Ronaldo, who's going to try and pick it up instead with Modric. Rafael Varane, he's going to be out of position, be very careful. There you go, very sensible, just play it back. Does not want to risk getting counter-attack, does Tass. Will happily keep the ball, will happily move it around until he gets the perfect opportunity. This is exactly what Tass will do. Back and forth, back and forth. And when it's his perfect time to strike, that's exactly what we'll try and do to fire himself back into this game. Lovely ball now to Modric. Does take a deflection off Ruud Gullit. Chance to possession to turnover. That's exactly what he does. And a huge switch all the way over to Ramos.
I know we often talk about the right back. Who would you be using in at right back, given the sort of players that are at your disposal on the esports accounts?
I think Ramos has just gone into that role now. You know, everyone seems to be picking it now. It was kind of eliminate both fullbacks, wasn't it? And now Ramos has gone into the right back area, and it really hasn't been an issue. Anyone down that left-hand flank, Ramos has been able to kind of match up everybody in the air as well, kind of in a running race. It's just the left-back side that I still feel like people are looking for that formula of what player they can put in there. We saw some players use Varane to get pulled out of position a few times for Jamie of what we saw. You got Marcelo, who normally a lot of people stick to. They know how he plays.
I think I'd be going with Maldini over at right back, the 95 prime icon moment Maldini. So given the fact he's got that 4-star weak foot, he's got 98 defending. The only problem is he's got 80 strength, which he could get bullied a little bit at right back. when you can get isolated sometimes with the back post crosses, with that sort of battle, if it is a battle against Ronaldo. But I just feel like with the pace that he's got in his back pocket, I just feel like Maldini, and then you've got the centre-back pairing, the strong Madrid connection.
There's the ball through, takes a wicked deflection, but DaXe will not be missing them at all. Doubles his lead in this game. Cristiano Ronaldo the scorer this time. 33 minutes on the clock. And DaXe, he's created a chance in the first leg, Richard. This has been coming for him.
You can't do much about that, to be honest, for Tass. It's a woeful touch, in all honesty. In the defence, it's just gone underneath his foot. And you can see the custom set pieces, the game plans, as it's said.
Kind of a basic change, isn't it? It's what you'd expect from a 5-3-2, just to jump up into a 3-5-2.
Yeah, I imagine we Mbappe over to right mid, more than likely.
He's got a fresh Pele that's just come on for Tass.
Seeing the changes, there you go. It's R9 and CR7 up top. Pele in at cam. Marcelo and Mbappe as your right mid and your left mid. He's got 5 5-star skillers going forward there. Pele, R9, CR7, Mbappe and Marcelo.
But just as well, 5 very, very decent players as well, that if you get the ball around the edge of the box, you get it in the box, they're going to cause problems every single day of the week. That was ultra attack, you know, that was the change for Tass. So that's if he goes ultra attacking. Obviously, an ultra defensive, this is how he's looking at the 5 at the back.
I want to see this replay of the goal, in all honesty, when this game does get back underway. I think it's DaXe just making a couple of changes here.
Are you looking to pick out that defender that had an awful touch?
I am, yeah.
I'm guessing it's Rio Ferdinand or even Marcelo, because it did come. Oh no, sorry, it'll be Rafael Varane. That's probably going to be Rafael Varane. We'll have a look if we can see on the replay.
So is the ball gone through?
Oh no, it's
Marcelo at left back. Out of all the defenders across that back 5, you'd have thought Marcelo would have got a little bit of composure in him to take a touch and not let the ball just go underneath his foot. Mistake there being made.
This is good though, an attacking change for Tass.
And he's switched that game plan into the ultra attacking right now.
So 3 at the back in action. Pele on, Maldini off.
This is where, in all honesty, the game can go one or two ways. Either gets back into the game and it's a tactical masterclass, or the game just goes away from him and DaXe has more room in behind. And you see that scoreline slowly start to tick up.
This isn't any game as well, because we've seen players that they are 2-0. They're feeling good. They're so close to getting themselves into the knockouts. When they get knocked off, when they're 2-0 and they go and lose a game, we've seen players go down to round 5 a Swiss-style format.
That train that you're running from 2-0, you get that one defeat and it just completely derails. You're off the tracks. You don't know where to go. You don't know where the next stop is.
And the next stop is normally either
elimination.
Yeah, round 5 in Swiss style, that's a chance. Great save as well for someone that loves a green time finesse. Unfortunately, that was not timed at all.
Back to goal from R9 and then just spinning. Finesse shot. The time finishing aspect taken out of the shot there. Did get timed great from Tass.
Just watching the box as well. Who's he going to be controlling in Tass? Just go straight into that penalty area where Hullet is activated, and there we go. He loves the time finish for a reason. And that one was certainly green from Ruud Gullit. Game on, 3 at the back for Tass. And what a time to make that change. Still, this game is so early.
Wasn't whipped into the area with any sort of real pace or power. It was just floated in. Penalty spot header. And you're saying to the header of the ball, just go and do me a job. Ruud Gullit clearly learning from Jimmy Conrad on how to head the ball there. Powered past the goalkeeper with the green timed finish.
The best thing about that was as well that a lot of the time from a corner, you always see who they're going to control, who they're going to look for. He didn't do that because he just aimed it into the penalty area where he knew Ruud Gullit would be. Then he activated it when the ball was in the air. Changed the player and ensured that Ruud Gullit would leap up above the rest and score a really important goal in this game for Tass. 3-2 down still, but that's definitely a step in the right direction. Needs to get himself into the second half now with this scoreline still. Everyone behind the ball for him as well, including the likes of Modric. R9, everybody's back. Added time of 2 minutes. There will be gaps that will appear though. The question is now, does he go back into that 5 at the back when he's only 1 goal behind? I think he may.
Potentially
Does
so.
he need to stay with 3 at the back?
I think you do stay 3 at the back. It's a positive change. I also, as we are approaching half-time here, we've been bigging it up. Yeah, this is 2 of the most creatively flowing players that we've seen in the Global Series this year. We've seen a set piece. We've seen 2 scrappy goals. I feel like I'm down at Stoke City Stadium and watching a game here because some of the goals that we've seen, we talk about DaXe being sort of the artist. He's finger painting at the minute because some of the goals that we've seen have not been that sort of creative flow that we've seen from him.
We've seen sparks of it. We just haven't seen those chances, go into the back of the net. So here we go. We mentioned, will he make the change? Will he stay at a 3 at the back, I do mean to say.
Of course.
If he does, he's asking Vieira to go into centre back there, which he can do, don't get me wrong.
He brought Maldini off and put Vieira into that position.
You can see how it looks as well. All his custom game plans there. Obviously, this is dependent where he's ultra attacking, balanced, or even ultra defensive, where we see the fight at the back. Into this second half now. Only 1 goal behind. Can DaXe hold on to it? Can DaXe build upon it? Will Tass score and equalise and change this game round once again? With DaXe, on the other hand, you've just got to score a goal, knock that confidence out, and then try and capitalise on that 3 at the back where there's going to be gaps. Yes, there'll be an overload in your attacking side, but there will be gaps when you're playing 3 at the back. Get down the flanks, go as wide as you can with the likes of Mbappe. The likes of Cristiano Ronaldo, you can just see just lurking around the edge of the box there. Hullet delaying it, doing very well in delaying it as well. A few ball rolls there. Just being very patient in the way he's playing. Hullet out to Vieira. Where's this shot going to come in the end? Goes out to Cristiano Ronaldo this time. Loves this little scoop turn. Doesn't really seem to do too much though for DaXe yet.
It's done well though to just put the pressure back on, not let Tass really drive forward with the ball.
Well, as long as he got the ball, that's the main thing. That clock is ticking and he's got that ball.
The way that Tass plays as well, he's not going to create 6, 7 clear-cut chances. He's going to work for that 1 chance to get him back into the game.
That's all he needs. We saw it in that first leg. 2 shots in total in the 90 minutes. A better possession and the scoreline still pretty much backed him. It was 1-1.
Harping back to the first game we saw on stream, DaXe against Clutch, in all honesty.
Oh no, out to Mbappe. There's the scoop. Goes all the way across. This time Marcelo, why not? Get yourself involved in the attack.
He's playing left mid now. In that 3-5-2, he's going to be coming across. He's got high-low work rates as well, Marcelo, so he's not going to play left mid. Let's be honest, he's going to be like a left forward.
He's like a free roam at the moment. He's everywhere. Mbappe now, his turn to try and get past Marcelo. Unfortunately, didn't on this time. This can really go either way. Hoof there long. Possession just given away.
I think it was more of a tackle than an intentional clearance from FaZe Tass. PSG DaXe, 30 minutes left on the clock.
How nice would it be as well, just to get that in the bank. 3-0.
Just, you can relax then. Doesn't matter, you could go 5-0. But in all honesty, I think they're probably the most successful record, I would say, is 4-1. That seems to be the magic sort of record that a lot of players go on and win with. There's not been a lot of occasions, only DaXe in recent memory, that's gone 5-0 or 3-0 in Swiss and then actually gone on to win the tournament. A lot of times, players who go perfect in groups or in Swiss go out.
Yeah. I have to agree on that because, yes, it can look good on a tweet or a social post when you're 5-0 or whatever you can be in Swiss. You come into tomorrow, we've seen so many players do it. We don't need to pick out the likes of Mo Alba or... I'm just trying to think of players that have kind of gone 5-0 and done really well. The next day, it's a different story. It's a completely different story when you get into the knockout stages.
Janos went perfect in Swiss last year.
$20 minutes left. If we go to extra time, Rich, we've got a curse. Every game we watch, every round, we go to extra time.
Always. Very recently, I feel like every single game that we've had the opportunity to watch, the EPL last week, this week, it's always extra time.
2 legs of FIFA wasn't enough. We always seem to go that extra 30 minutes further, which we're not complaining about, an extra 30 minutes of competitive FIFA to try and separate the two players. Obviously, Tass has had a penalty shootout already today in round 1 of his Swiss. He had a penalty shootout, won that one. Here he comes now, R9 into Ronaldo, time green, time to perfection, game on, 3-3.
Looked like not a lot were happening for Tass there for a little while. He was just keeping hold of the ball, keeping it recycling, keeping it ticking over. And as soon as it got played into Ronaldo, you saw the intention, what he wanted to do. He wanted to hit that green time finesse past the goalkeeper. That's exactly what he did. With 15 minutes left to go in this game, are we set for another extra time matchup?
I think you've got to give a lot of credit to Tass as well. He's made that change. He had to go out for the game. He was 2 goals down early on. He made the change, went free at the back and took off Maldini, added in Pele to the mix. And it's really worked out well for him. Will he push on for another goal, or will he just fall back into the 5 at the back and happily go into extra time? That is what we're going to wait and see.
We see the sort of instructions that he's putting on the players. It certainly looks like he's going a little bit more defensive. Come back on defence for his front 2. Wouldn't be surprised to see another couple of substitutes on as well. Maybe Henry can be a match winner for him. Maybe Neymar, team of the year.
Good players as well, aren't they? Not too bad. You've got Neymar just sitting on your bench, 97 overall. Henry's going to be pushed out to left-hand side.
Sorry to interrupt. I think Modric, potentially in that midfield, could be R9 or Modric. They're the 2 that look a little bit tired legs in the middle of the pitch.
He's not happy. Back in again.
Wouldn't be surprised. Maybe see Kante come on, strengthen up that midfield. Maybe De Bruyne at CDM. He can definitely do a job.
It's like you're controlling this at the moment, Richard. Everything you're saying is just happening. De Bruyne is going to come on, and he'll happily kind of just sit in that midfield there for him. 97 overall. Maybe fell in love with him a little bit last week.
I know Tass doesn't wear a headset. He's not got a Turtle Beach headset on, so I'm not sure if he did hear me say that Modric is a little bit fatigued.
You'll be going to a career as a coach soon, at this rate. He's made the 2 changes for him. He's just got under 20 minutes left now to make an impact with those players. Or he's got another 30 minutes on top of that. DaXe, on the other hand, was 2 goals up in this game. Was 3-1 up on aggregate. Now he's back at 3-3. He's going to be disappointed.
And what's more important about that, we know that DaXe is an emotional player. We know that he's suffered defeats in the past and he's sort of got downbeat about it. He can't let that happen to him now. With 15 minutes left, you've got one player who's completely in the groove. The momentum's going with him. The other player in DaXe has to just bounce back instantly.
Play the football he knows he can, because he can play some unbelievable stuff when he's on his game. In PSG, DaXe be making the latter stages of so many tournaments this year, especially at Gfinity as well. Here's his chance now. Vieira to Eusebio. Who's going to hit this one? Eusebio, surely. He's got cuts back inside. And that is PSG DaXe on a plate for you there.
DaXe, he's traded out the finger painting. He's brought in Picasso's paintbrush. That is an unbelievable goal.
He could have easily had the shot of Eusebio. Cut back inside. And on a plate it was for R9 Ronaldo. Unbelievable FIFA from the French. And we've been crying out for it. I know we've seen a few scrappy goals, a few set pieces, but it's not a bad one to potentially end this game with, Richard.
Capitalising straight from the get-go was PSG DaXe. Now you're seeing the changes potentially. He's out of substitutions. No one else can come on.
Now he's thinking to himself, was it worth bringing on De Bruyne? Should he have maybe brought on Neymar instead? And he has to go for it now. It's simple as that for Tass. Has to go for this game. He is behind by a goal again. Credit to DaXe from being 2-0 up to conceding 2 goals to be 3-3 on aggregate. The mindset, as you said, he's had a few setbacks in some tournaments. He's been able to just put that behind him. Get himself in front as well.
Sorry to interrupt you. He was looking at bringing R9 off. He had no more subs left. The thing is with R9, even though if he's fatigued and his stamina's quite low, in front of goal, when you've got someone that clinical, does it really matter?
Yep.
Does it really matter? You never bring off your big players, do you? You never see CR7 coming off for Juventus. You rarely ever see Messi coming off. You rarely ever see Neymar coming off for PSG.
Because that's when they're on. They're on for the whole 90 minutes.
The key players are the ones that win your games.
Can Tass reply? He's got 5 in-game minutes left to do so.
Every single white shirt behind the ball.
Could this be it? Goes out. Oh, off the upright. Nearly found its way into the back of the net for Tass.
Was that the final knock for Tass?
Vieira, look at the run, look at the offside traps played as well. He's done well to send him back, but that clock is just going to slowly tick. Time is running out for him. Added time of 2 minutes, not long left at all. DaXe should be through to the knockouts with a 3-0 scoreline in Swiss-style format. 3 big wins for him as well. Picked himself up a win against Delhi, a win up against Goal Machine.
Hold on.
And Tass as well. Or that was the chance. Fell back. He should be there unless somehow David De Gea clears that one away. And there we go. PSG DaXe. Congratulations. 3-0. One of the first players to do it as well, Richard. He's through to the knockouts. And that wasn't a bad goal to go through as well.
The smallest of margins took him through in the end. A really, really beautiful bit of play.